Embrace your role in the market. Your role is to find these inefficiencies, these places where the price isn't where it should be, and then fix it. And if you can become an expert at doing that, then you'll make money. Hey everyone, welcome to the Anarchy Podcast. 99% of traders will never make consistent profits. So why listen to the 99% of advice? On this show, we're going to challenge some of the most hallowed and repeated tenets of trading, and in doing so, set you up to succeed where others fail. Spoiler alert, we don't have a secret strategy or magic wand that will let you skip out on the hard work of learning the markets, but we can debunk viewpoints that are holding you back. If that sounds good to you, come join us.
Levi and I were talking just the other day about the morality of day trading. Now, that kind of took me off guard because I actually hadn't given it much thought. And maybe that's because, let's be honest, I'm not much of a philosopher. But yeah, so today I figured we'd get Levi's take on it, and I'll see if I have any thoughts that come into my brain while we're talking about this. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But Levi, the morality of day trading, it's an intriguing thought. So take us through.
Well, so this question, this question popped up because I was in conversation with a guy out in the Czech Republic, very, very talented composer, and out there, and we were talking about trading, and he asked this, which is it's a great question, and it's frankly one that you'll probably get if you day trade, which is it's important to be proud of what you're doing, especially something that's hard like day trading. And it's really important to, be confident that what you're doing matters and has purpose. And so the question was well, we've talked about day trading being a zero-sum game before. So, does that mean when you're successful, you're taking, when I make, whatever, $1 million next year, am I taking $1 million from Joe Blow down the street who's trying to provide for his family? Is that a good thing to be doing? So it was a great question. Again, it's one that you'll probably hear, and if you're a day trader, you should know, you should be really confident in what you're doing. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit. I thought it'd be useful. So my response to that, and feel free to chime in, but it is first to understand that day trading is really important. Okay. We've talked about day trading being similar to poker before because there are some similarities, but there's also some things that are not similar. So poker is, first of all, a game, has no real actual purpose other than a game. And when you take money, you are taking money from the people sitting at the table with you. Okay. So you sit at a table, there are 8 people, whatever, and you're taking, if you win, you took the money from all those other, from the 8 people. So that's where the similarities end with day trading, because first of all, day trading is actually really, really important, and it's critical to how the market works, at least the modern market works. So day trading, day traders, for one, provide liquidity, a lot of liquidity. So because day traders take a lot of trades throughout the day, we enable the big institutions to be able to jump in and out much more quickly, and be able to we lower the spreads, right? We increase the liquidity, we increase the we hurry up the price discovery, essentially, and the market efficiency. So if the price of a stock or an option or a future should be higher or should be lower, because day traders take a ton of trades, it helps the market work its way toward the quote unquote correct price much, much faster, right? Price discovery increases, market efficiency increases. The market is very efficient when there's a lot of players in the game. And so day trading is really super important. It's critical for that stuff. And so that's the first thing. Second, that I wanted to talk about, we've talked about, again, about trading being a zero-sum game. I wanted to, I think, clarify what that also means too, because unlike poker, again, where you're taking it from the 8 people sitting beside you, the vast majority of the market is made up by not retail traders, not Joe Blow. It's made up by institutions, right? These big players, the market makers, the institutions who are taking a lot of trades. So when that's the majority of the market. So when you're winning a trade, the vast majority of the money you're making is not coming from other retail traders. It's coming from inefficiencies taken, the cost and change in price from these institutions, who, by the way, are very willing to pay that. Again, because of the way the market works, the institutions like having a lot of day traders because, again, it makes the market much more efficient, makes price discovery much faster. And so they're willing to pay for, if you're a successful trader, all that means, if you're a successful trader, is you figured out how to take advantage of and fix market inefficiency. Because that's what a day trader is. A day trader takes market inefficiency and fixes it. And for that, you get paid. And these institutions are definitely willing to pay for that because it makes their life much, much easier and allows them to get prices that are much, much better. So that's kind of, I think, a good place to start because it gives a little bit of context to the question and gives a real purpose because your job as a day trader is to fix inefficiencies in the market. And if you can do that really well, you get paid for it really, really well. So I think that's a good place to start. And that's kind of where my head was at in answering this question.
Yeah, I agree with you. And my thoughts go along kind of the same lines as essentially we live in a capitalistic society, right? And the
Yeah.
way capitalism works, of course, is there's free trade. You can buy, sell whatever you want for whatever you want. And the fact is, day traders essentially enable capitalism to work, right?
Yeah.
Because it diversifies everything. It now, instead of two or three people deciding what something's worth, guess what? We all get to decide what it's worth. Apple, people sometimes tend to bash Apple, first $1 trillion company or whatever. Well, guess who made it a $1 trillion company? You did. You and your iPhones made it a $1 trillion company. And because of day traders and because of just people in general, we're the ones who get to actually make companies successful or not. Like, think about it. If it wasn't for just people, normal people, we're not talking corporations, IPOs, so the initial product offerings, like when a company gets ready to launch on let's say the stock exchange or something, or they're going to start offering shares, like that's something that day trade, everyone just goes in, you buy shares, you're participating in that. Sure, there's corporate buyers as well, but an IPO is normally, we're talking normal people are going and buying out and buying that stock, and that's enabling those companies to then have more money, be able to employ more people, and thus be able to actually benefit society. So yeah, I think it's an interesting question that the more I give it some thought, I'm like, yeah, I could, there's a lot of advantages to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, that's why I kind of wanted to talk about this. I mean, the general morality, I don't have, I don't think it's immoral. And so I'm pretty much willing to do something if it makes me money and it's not immoral. That's I think a little bit less interesting, but like having a real excitement for your purpose is really important, especially again, when you're doing something hard like day trading, having something that keeps you going, like, hey, this is useful, right? It's hard to sit down and struggle through something when you're like, I'm just a dead weight on the economy. And I think day trading sometimes gets that rap, right? People go, oh, you're just a gambler, right? You're just a poker player. You're just blah, blah, blah. You're just taking money from the little guy. If you believe that, right? If you let that mindset get into your head, that's going to be really hard to put your head down and figure out what you need to figure out to be successful at day trading. And so understand, I just really want our listeners to understand, as a successful day trader, you have a seriously big, important purpose that serves a massive role in the economy and the way the markets efficiently run. We are the grease. We are the grease in these massive cogs that run the market. And so we're a small part. Retail traders it's a reasonably small part, but it's a very, very, very important part, right? When you get rid of the day traders, even though we're only, I think retail is like 20% right now. It's much more recently than it used to be. But just because we're a small part doesn't mean we don't serve a massive purpose. And so now that said, I mean, maybe it'd be interesting. I mean, there are ways to, I think, day trade immorally. Not that it affects anybody other than you, but if you are treating the market like a casino, I think that's a great way to, destroy your life, which isn't terribly moral either. So, just understand in the pursuit of becoming a day trader, someone who specializes in finding and fixing market inefficiency, just remember that's your purpose. It's not, and when you do that effectively, when you effectively make the market more efficient, you will make money. And if you're just in there to gamble and pull a slot machine, now you're just a gambler. And whether or not you believe that's moral, it's up to you. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but it's not going to make you any money in the long run.
Yeah, yeah. And the fact is you had mentioned the fact that we have an important part to play in the markets. And I think sometimes people are tempted to think, what I do, like everyone talks about like, oh, you can't move markets, retail doesn't move markets. Actually, take it back, guys. You do move the market. Like, have you ever watched the market during news trading? Guess what? You see all those spikes? I guarantee you JP Morgan's not sitting there doing all this. Oh, it's like I'm going to trade the news and I'm going to make this big like they already know, guys. They
They knew
already
long before
know.
you did.
Yeah, like you always wonder why is there you sometimes wonder, okay, this news came out, there was this huge spike. It was supposed to be bad, but then price is still going the opposite way. Guess what, guys? There's a lot of people out there that know way more than you do. All those
Yeah.
spikes during the news is retail traders. So retail trading absolutely can have a big impact on the markets and actually does move the market. So it does, I just wanted to throw that out there because that's kind of like a proof. Sometimes people talk about retail not moving markets. They do.
Yeah. So just I think we can leave it there. Not to beat a dead horse, but find your day trading purpose, and really embrace it. Embrace the your role in the market. Your role is to find these inefficiencies, these places where the price isn't where it should be, and then fix it. And if you can become an expert at doing that, then you'll make money, and you can and these corporations, these market makers, the big players are willing to pay for that, and that's where the majority of your money is coming from. So it's a really exciting, small but really important role to play.